Hello, Bill. I wanted to show you I've got everything working. So we got the floppy mounting, all our partitions, the CD, DVD, and everything's booting here. So I am going to ship today. One last thing I need to test is the sound. If I'm not getting sound out of this sound box, I've got a bunch more. So that's the last thing, and everything else is good to go. I'm also going to test the keyboard and mouse. But thank you so much for your business and patience. It's for real this time. Bella's calling me to bed. Aren't you, Bella? Hey, it's only 1:45, so I'm getting off early. Knock on wood. I'll show you how to eject a floppy. I want to log into the operating system real quick, too. All right. There's our little Quokka dude. Yeah, I'm amazed at, I've got the Millennium Falcon optical wireless mouse working on a NeXT computer. That's pretty cool. I built this little mouse. It's pretty neat. I think I can fit the optical stuff into a NeXT mouse, which would be pretty cool. Watch. Of course, why doesn't it want to work when I do a demo? It was literally just working, so this is pretty funny. I'm going to try something here real quick. I believe if I unplug this, come on now. Okay, and then plug it back in. I think what happens is it syncs up with my Mac Mini over there. Yep, there it goes, see? So if you're within range and you're using a wireless mouse on this little Quokka of another system, you want to make sure that it's picking it up on your NeXT box. And that's maybe what's happening with the keyboard too. I'll try powering off that Mac Mini and see if I can get the wireless keyboard to work. So we're gonna log in here for Bill. Yeah, this turned out cool. So I was having some issues. I had a DOA CD DVD, and I think it's probably an issue with the power supply in that, or it blew a fuse at some point. So I put a new DVD in there for you, and it's running nice and quiet. I'm going to take a test of the sound. I'm hoping that maybe it'll work, but there's two things it could be. There's a little cable in there that plugs into the connector, which could be off if it's oriented one way or the other, or there's a problem with the onboard sound chip. And I've seen both happen. I think that's a known good speaker and microphone. We'll find out here shortly, as soon as it finishes booting up. You'll want to be patient here. What it's doing is it's loading the equivalent of 5 SCSI hard drives and a CD-ROM DVD and a floppy. And you can kind of see that here. These are all the 2 gig mounts. Pretty neat. Well, I'm really pushing the envelope on this technology. But, it allows us to have practically every app ever invented for NeXT on here that I'm aware of. And I add more all the time. I've got all the documentation, sysadmin. We've got the library bookshelf. And that was revolutionary, too. That's what made the World Wide Web possible, is these searchable indexes. That's how the web worked. And probably still does to some extent. And that was all built into NeXTstep. So that spinning beach ball means we're in the penalty box until she figures out loading everything. And then we should be good to go. There it goes. It stopped. And we'll try something over here in sounds. I didn't hear the sound on startup, which is my little test sound. So we're going to find out soon enough. What it's doing now is launching the sound app. As I say, it seems like once these get running a little bit, I think it puts some stuff in swap file space. And, maxing it out to 64 megs of RAM does help the performance of NeXT hardware. 32 on the standard stations, 128 on the turbos. The operating system was about 130 megs, so you're basically floating the operating system in RAM, which was pretty advanced for the day if you think of it in terms of Windows 3.1.1 and stuff like that. They're crap. Let's see here. Let's try anything. How about this guy? Angry sound. So it did mount that 3.2. You can hear it spinning there. And I'll show you how to eject real quick too as soon as it launches the sound for us. In fact, I can try. Yeah, this spinning beach ball. I found that putting in a regular SCSI hard drive too is an option. And I do have some here. So, if you want maybe a little bit better performance, not as many apps, that's a way to do it. Or once you get this SD, you can just keep the main 2 gig partition. You create a folder on a Mac or PC with a SCSI card reader, and you can simply drag and drop my 2 gig custom partitions into that folder to make the backup. And just having the single 2 gig boot partition works. I would do maybe 0 and 1. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But most people are pretty happy with the fact that they've got hundreds of NeXT applications. Okay, so here, let's see what happens if it's going to launch it for us, or we're still going to be in beach ball penalty box. I think sounds files take a little bit more time too. You have to think of it in terms of the day and the hardware. NeXT has a 56001 DSP chip, which makes it perform a little bit better in terms of handling sound capabilities. It's a digital signal processor chip. So NeXT was the first computer on planet Earth, I believe, capable of CD quality sound integrated with the operating system. Pretty amazing. They were, very advanced. Okay, so now I should be able to click this sound and it's going to launch it. In theory. Man, oh man. We get so used to modern hardware that, I'm like, everything is so fast now that, just what we did is just exercise patience, I guess. We didn't have as many features as we do now, but a lot of it is so bloated, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's taking up gigabytes of RAM. Come on now. All I'm trying to do is just launch a sound. And I mean, here we're 9 or 10 minutes in, and this is, for me, if you're doing text and graphics work, it's okay, but I think the sound stuff maybe lags a little bit more. And all I'm trying to do is just test a sound. But for some reason, I would think it would show up in the console log here as to why it is slow. I mean, something is causing this thing to hang. And we go up to tools and processes and see if that's This is frustrating too, because you're normally able to multitask. I like that about hard drives. And this is on the main 2 gig partition too, this sound file. So I don't understand why it's going into beach ball hell here. And then all of a sudden it'll catch up and stop. So, God. Maybe I'm thinking too much. But as the time goes by, now we're at 10 minutes, seeing that all of a sudden it works. Although that's weird, it's just dropping the whole thing there. Okay, there it is, launching sound. Wonderful. Now let's see if it'll play it. It shouldn't take that long, though. And I don't believe I'm hearing any sound out of this. Okay, so maybe that's part of it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do File, New, and record and see if it'll record at least. Hello, test, test, test. So the microphone looks like it's working. That's great. And we'll play it back. Now to make sure, I'm going to go up into preferences and make sure that it's not muted. And that's that calendar icon in the upper right corner. And it'll launch the preferences panel momentarily. Hopefully it won't take 5 minutes. And maybe part of it's too, I've got that CD-ROM in there and it's accessing the whole CD-ROM, trying to mount it. Because I can hear it spinning pretty good right now. And there's no need for that. So I am going to go highlight. Let's see if I can quit sound. No, we'll leave sound up. But I want to highlight this. And then we should be able to go up to disk eject, even with that beach ball. That should eject the CD, which will take some of the delay, because that's one whole 2 gig, independent device. And it sounds like it ejected it just fine. We're going to also eject this floppy doing the same method. So that might increase the performance a little bit. So highlight that, click eject, and we should see hear the floppy eject. Yep, that's working great. So I've got those two as well. Then we're looking for that preferences panel that probably opened up perfectly behind here. Yep. And we're going to look for sound just to see if by chance that's muted. Come on. Ay, ay, ay. I'm ready to go to bed. Come on. There we go. There's the speaker. And so mute's unchecked. Let's see if we're getting any system sounds. Nope. I'm not hearing anything. So I'm assuming it's an issue with the sound card. I'll get that figured out, but that's the last thing on this. Everything's good to go. Okay. Stay tuned. More fun stuff to come from the black hole. Only 14 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and log out. Got sidetracked today by we're putting in a new back step as well as new cabinet front doors. I had a crazy roommate in here for a while and she destroyed practically everything in the house. So we're fixing fan light switches and all this other stuff. It's just nice. I've got Tom, my assistant, and Lori, the other assistant, helping, which makes a big difference. Things are getting organized and put away and cleaned up. And so it's starting to come around. And, I appreciate everybody's business and patience. It's just been, frustrating because I am far from 100%. I'm not going to go into that anymore. Okay, great. So signing off. And, oh man, I'll show you the print stuff I've got going here too. I'm printing up these little quokkas, the quokka cases. Let's see, I need to probably turn this guy off too. Let's see, I can maybe do that. I'm just going to go ahead and walk over here and I'll show you that, and then we'll sign off for today. Okay, there we go. Yeah, those are looking good. All right. Have a good evening.